to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm LaClaw Scott, and today we are reviewing Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, Episode 1, Lot 36.
I hope this does well, and I hope it's going to be a series, almost like the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
It's sort of what it reminds me of, because he introduces it, and then that's the closest thing I can think of to something that exists already like this. Originally, I thought this would just be a movie. Like when it was promoted the first time I saw it, I thought, oh, it's just like one movie, kind of like the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. There's certain like different storylines in it that are unrelated to each other, but I didn't expect it to be a whole series. So I'm glad that it is.
Yeah, this is actually I didn't know what to expect in terms of format, but I'm really glad that it's done in kind of a anthology way. And then it's so funny because I feel like I love Guillermo del Toro. I never hear him speak. So it's like the first time of like him introducing. And then there's emerging directors that are directing each episode, and each of the stories it's really well done. And I feel like they put a lot of budget behind special effects and storytelling and getting like the actors too.
Yeah, because the first episode isn't that guy also in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
Yes, he is. Yeah, Tim Blake Nelson, which is interesting because I didn't see that movie. I also didn't see Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And he's in that as
Oh,
well. But he is in the Watchmen that was done for HBO 2 years ago, let's say 2020, which is amazing. I'm a huge fan. Like, I love the comic book. When they did the series, it was only for one season, sadly. It is probably the best retelling or like extension of the film that came out, and also the comic book about kind of the alternative history of the US and like the influence of superheroes, etc. And he does a great job in that. So I was like, oh, it's that guy.
I did watch that. We should maybe do an episode on that.
Oh
That
my gosh, yes.
was great. And I'm not even really super into graphic novel based things. I mean, of course, I have been watching more of them recently, but part of that is I feel like more of them have been coming out recently.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like when I was a kid, there wasn't a new superhero movie every month, but I feel like now there is.
Oh yeah, yeah. Whether
Maybe
it's
two a
on
month.
like maybe it's whether it's on like the big screen or Disney, there's things that stream all the time, and HBO Max too.
This episode, the first episode, seemed fairly straightforward. There wasn't a lot of intrigue. It was just kind of a creature story, but it wasn't like you didn't have to figure anything out. There wasn't even really an epic battle between, it was just like, oh.
Yeah, it's very much like a cautionary tale, and of course you kind of like know what's going to happen, but the setup and how they got there, I think, was pretty interesting. But yeah, to your point, there was like no twist. No, I do have some questions, but
It could have been, in some ways, it could have been shorter.
yes, I think definitely for this episode, yes.
Yeah, but in some ways, there were a lot of things that were not answered.
Yes.
So it could have been shorter, but it also could have been the same length of time or slightly longer if they had addressed all of those questions. Let's go to the slides.
No, they kind of gave it its name.
We did. Let's see.
I mean, yeah.
I give it a 3 for cinematography, and you gave it a 3 for
special effects. I was actually pretty impressed by the creature at the end, because I was like, oh, there's a mix of a lot of things. And even to get to that point, just to back up, this guy, it seems like he is very financially strapped. And it's funny, I've never watched any of these like hoarder, or like, I guess there's reality TV shows based off of people who buy storage units. And this was the first time I'm actually seeing it in action. I just hear about it and I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like you place a big bet on something and you have to go in and like assess. if there's things of value. It was interesting, like even seeing the tape that the person who managed the storage area showed was like, it was like a ritual. Like this man seemed like it was very OCD, and I'm like, oh, it's probably something of a cult. Don't know, but seems kind of sketch. And then, it's the juxtaposition of, other people who are on down hard times and like trying to, get things of value back, and, making that him and like the antiquities dealer, like finding out that there's, space, that there's all this, there's stuff and the caution and the warning. And then you get to that area and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is insane.
Just spatially, it was odd, right? Because he
Mhm.
tells the guy, like, my space is smaller than other units that I've got
Yeah.
here. It couldn't have been that much shorter. Do you know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, it was, there was a huge area where that thing was
Right.
like,
Did he not
and
know?
had to go down this hallway. Like, if he was missing that much square footage from a storage space, you would have noted. Like, that would have definitely been something you would have said, hey, this is a problem.
Yeah, or would have checked out, not waited until the guy passed. But like if the storage unit had been, open and was constructed in the 40s and that person had a unit for that length of time, one would think, but
Right. I didn't give it a 3 on special effects. I think because it was Guillermo del Toro. I don't know how much interaction he has with each individual episode, but
yeah.
I expect the special effects to be amazing. The production quality to be super high, right? So like I gave him high marks on production quality, and Rater's Choice, and even cinematography, but I felt like for special effects, just seemed like kind of a normal creature. Like not normal, right? Like I don't know.
Fair.
Yeah, like it just seemed like there was nothing about that creature where I was just like, oh, that's different. I mean, it was different, of course, than like the creature from Stranger Things or other sort of weird-headed multi thing, but it just wasn't different enough. That might be a good or bad thing going forward. I might need to readjust my.
No. Maybe I skewed the ratings because I was just like, oh.
No. I think you're right. Any other thoughts or feelings about this episode?
I mean, I thought actually this was a pretty good start to the anthology. I highly recommend watching the other ones, and then maybe we could rank our favorites. There are 2 or 3 other ones that really stand out for me as like excellent storytelling, excellent special effects. But I do like this one. I think it's like a good warm up.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a challenge. I mean, I don't know if they finish them all at the same time, so you can look at all of them and like then place them in order, or if they're finishing them as they're showing them. If they do have them all to look at, it's hard to put them into a sequence that like brings the person along.
Yeah.
Something about him though makes me feel like he's doing that. Like he's finished the whole season and then he's planning like which ones are going to be shown in what order.
Yeah, I think so. I hope it comes back for a second season though.
Well, I think it might. I mean, I feel like why not? It does seem like people are watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out around Halloween, so that's good timing. So yeah. Do you have anything else to plug in this episode?
I don't. I think there's a lot of movies on deck, so it's just one of those things. So fall movie season is upon us, which means it's also Oscar season. So I'm excited to get started in watching all these films that are will probably be in contention. How about you?
This, I believe, is episode 98. So we're counting down to 100. If you have a chance, that you go to the Career Society website and take a look, because they are allowing you to stream for free 5 movies that feature the guy from who is the dad in Parasite. He has tons of movies that he's done over there, and so you can screen 5 of them for free between now and November 27th. So I'll put the link to the Career Society down in the description, and you can take a look at that.
Yay!
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.
See you next time.